Hey, it's Justin Popovich here from Tools for Motivation. Now in this video, we're going to be doing something pretty special. I'm going to go through an entire product demo walkthrough, which is what we're going to do is take a full PLR package from Tools for Motivation. And our full PLR packages, I'll explain what they are in just a moment, but these are basically PLR packages that include everything you need for your marketing efforts. So it has content that you can sell, content you can use for lead generation, and then content you can use publicly, like on a blog or social media, to drive traffic to your website and to your sales offers. So what I have is a flow chart of sorts that walks you through all of the content included in a product. And then I'm going to, in the flow chart, I'm going to show you what each piece of content can be used for. So let me show you that first. Okay, this is the chart I was talking about. You can, anytime you want to do this yourself, go to toolsformotivation.com and click the shop link at the top, and then look for any products priced between $97 and $147. All of those products kind of fall into this category, and they include four main sections. Premium, hopefully you can see my mouse here moving around the screen. On the left side there, premium, and then there's a lead generation folder. There is a branding folder, and then finally a social folder. And then as we go through this video, I'm going to show you what you can do with the content in each one of those folders. So as I scroll down here, you can see there is a lot of stuff going on, tons of stuff going on. I'm going to quickly show you, not an exhaustive demo, but I'm going to quickly show you how to do each and every one of these pieces. And then where applicable, I will also include links to other deep dive resources. So for example, if one of these boxes talks about doing something that I have another training video for where I go into the heart of that matter, I'll link you over there so you can follow along. Now, let me show you an example of a full product, which I have up on my screen over here. This is a product called Careless, How to Stop Worrying What Other People Think of You. This is a $147 product in our store. I'm doing this video right now. It's currently out of stock, meaning it's not available for public sale yet. We've just built this product and we're just in the phases of launching it right now. That's neither here nor there. Here's what the product includes. So there's a premium content section here. That means this is stuff you can sell. You can also use it for lead generation, but think of it more as like, I want to sell this thing, make some money. I'm going to package it up as a course or something to that effect. So it has an ebook. It has some graphics that go with that ebook, some 3D covers. It has a workbook to help people implement the ideas from the ebook. And it has an audiobook. Okay, and there's a sample of it there. If I were to show you this product on my hard drive, this is what it looks like here. So the Careless package, worrying less about what people think of you, premium folder, okay? This is the folder that I just showed you on that sales page. It has an ebook, it has an audiobook, and a workbook. So you as the PLR buyer, this is what you'll start with once you purchase a package like this, or similar ones in our store as well. And other PLR providers usually provide this type of content as well, sometimes packaged and stored in different formats or different structure, but the general idea is the same. Now, I don't want to walk through that whole sales letter of that Careless product because it's going to take me too long. But what I'd rather do is actually just show you it here. So if you remember our flow chart, we had those four sections: premium content you can sell, content you can use for lead generation, content you can use for branding, and content you can use on social media platforms. So let me actually show you those again. So I already mentioned these three: ebook, audiobook, workbook. That stuff you can monetize. The lead generation folder includes a lead generation report. So it's a shorter report than the ebook. It's mostly just to get people interested in the topic. So if you were to sell this whole concept of worrying less about what people think so you can achieve more of your goals, this lead generation report would be something you could give away for free when somebody joins your list to get them thinking about it. But then when they want to go further and they want to learn more from you, that's when you would sell them the premium content, the ebook, and maybe package that or bundle it with the audiobook as well, which a lot of people love in the personal development world. That's sort of the flow there. The branding folder, like I mentioned, has a number of different things you can use for just getting people to associate your company and your brand with this topic. And then the social folder includes things like graphics, Facebook posts, and tweets. What I want to do now is come back over to this flowchart and actually walk you through examples of what you can do with each piece. Let's start at the top left and look at the ebook. So we have an ebook in this particular example called Careless, How to Stop Worrying What People Think, go for more of what you want in life, you can sell it as is. So going over to my hard drive here, I could literally just take this. This is well within your right. And we've included a PDF version. So if I open that up, this is an ebook that's pretty much ready to go here. It's got all the content. Now, you would be doing yourself a disservice by not editing this at all, because the PDF has no links in it, it has no branding. So people reading it, it just looks like a vanilla type of document. They have no idea who created it. So what I would normally recommend is you open this thing up in Word or in Pages. So if you're on a PC, then use Microsoft Word. If you're on a Mac, you can use Pages if you have it. Open this thing up, make some edits to it. Maybe add your links to the bottom of each page. Maybe add some graphics that highlight some of the main topics inside of the book. Perhaps you have your own opinions and advice on this topic. Add a chapter or two of what you actually think and want to advise your users about, and then save it as a PDF that you then sell on your website. So that's the first piece. The second piece here is you can use it for opt-in bait. So same idea. If you were to take that PDF you create right here, but instead of selling it, right, if you'd go to your website and put it up as with a buy button and then deliver it to people after they send you money. You don't have to do it that way, right? You could, let's for example go to Tools for Motivation homepage here. And you can see on our website, we've got a couple different areas where we capture leads. So right at the very top, we say, hey, put your name and email here and we'll send you some samples. And we've got this little plugin that pops up as well, asking people, hey, we're going to send you some cool stuff related to what we do. Name, email, get your PLR here. You could do the exact same thing, right? So if somebody reaches your website and you want to get them to join your list, which I highly recommend you do if you're not doing it now, then if you wanted to do something specific, like give them some free tips on how to worry less about what people are thinking, you could take that same ebook that you customized in my previous example, give that away for free as an incentive for people to join your list. So you don't have to sell it, but you could give it away for free. Our license basically states that as long as you don't copy in that text and paste it into a blog post, for example, where people can just freely read this info, you're fine. Hide it behind an opt-in or sell it so people can't freely access it and you're good to go. Okay, next one down here. Add images from a free source like Unsplash.com. Okay, this is a cool example. So I'm going to show you Unsplash.com quickly. Okay, here we are. This is Unsplash.com, and then I've gone into a specific page that we've built on this website called Tools for Motivation, where we've collected a bunch of images. This is basically free high-resolution photos that you can use in your business, and you can use it for commercial purposes. Take a look at their usage rights, but it's amazing what you can do with all these images. Probably the best site, in my opinion at least, for getting graphics for your content. What we've done is we've just collected images that kind of fall into various categories that we've created here. So what is this topic we're looking at for this example is careless, worrying less about what people think. So risk-taking, taking chances is loosely related to that. I'm going to go into this collection of stuff. So what I could do is I could go to that ebook. So here is the Word doc version of the Careless product. And as we go through it, let's just pick a section here. Let's go to the top. Why do we care so much? And it goes into the whole concept of why we worry so much what people think about us. Maybe you're not a victim of this. I know most people are. So the ebook, as we talked about earlier, if you were to just save it as a PDF, it's fine. It's got great content. It doesn't look visually appealing. So my example here is to use Unsplash.com to spice things up. So I could take this change image, for example, right? And I could save this. I'm going to download this image. And I am actually, just to save time here, I'm going to click off of it. Sorry, let me just close this. Just to save time, I'm just going to grab the image right off my screen. You would want to save this as a JPEG file and then drop it into your Word doc. I'm just going to do this really quick. Grab this image here just to save time, put it in my clipboard. And then in Word, I'm going to go here and maybe separate this paragraph out into, or sorry, this first section out into a few sections. Paste in an image, and then you can see really quickly, using the rights given to me by Unsplash.com, which is, hey, go ahead and use these images for commercial purposes, I can start going through my ebook and copying, pasting just nice little simple images like this that spice things up. So that is kind of related to this step that I showed you right here. So unsplash.com, have a look at it. We also have an additional training about that. So look for the links related to this video. Next one down, add more writing to flesh out the ebook. That's what I talked about earlier. So after I paste an image in here, I might want to go to the end of this section and then add some of my specific examples like, hey, worrying what people think of you is not great. It doesn't really serve any purpose except hold you back. And here's what happened to me before and after I learned this, right? So that is this step here. Next piece down here, using the ebook as a baseline to create a Kindle book. So Kindle, obviously on Amazon, digital books that people can download. Be very careful, read and understand the terms of publishing books to Kindle. You cannot just take a PLR book or ebook and copy that text and paste it into a Kindle book and off you go. They won't allow that. And in fact, you'll probably get banned if you do it. What we're suggesting here is that you go into a book like this Careless package here. Maybe if I go up to the table of contents, you can see we've got a lot of different topics that we cover. Do you care too much what people think? Why you need to stop? How to stop worrying about what people think? And what I would suggest you do is use pieces of this ebook to get you started. So I want to let's just find one here. Do you care too much what people think? So here's an intro with like one paragraph that talks about the heavy burden that weighs you down when you care too much. I would maybe use that to start my thinking, and then I would write my own section or series of paragraphs explaining that topic. Okay, so we're not, again, suggesting that you take a PLR book, copy it to Kindle. We're suggesting you take the PLR book, use it to flesh out your own ideas that you then publish to Kindle. That way, what you're publishing on Kindle is a unique creation, which should be just fine. Next one down, use the content for a paid membership website. So I don't really have a way to demo that right now, but sometimes a paid membership could be something as simple as a page on your website that is locked down and only people that have a password and pay you a membership fee can get access to it. So that could be as simple as taking this ebook that we've already talked about right here, saving it in PDF format, and then uploading it to a page. Let me actually do something really quick that we could sort of highlight as a membership page. Okay, I've done something super simple here, but just it gives you a visual of what I'm trying to do. So we're on toolsformotivation.com. I'm not even using like a legit membership type of site for this style of content. I've just taken a page and it's an unlisted page on our website. And you can there's various plugins and software you can buy that locks down content. And then something I could very simply do is say, this is my membership page, and I can start adding content to this page. So people join my membership. They pay me $10 a month, $50 a month, whatever it is. And every month I'm going to add more stuff here that they can download, right? Well, if you remember our PLR package, we include graphics. So I could take one of these graphics like this, one of these binders. Here's a book stack. I could take that image, drop it on that page that I just showed you, and then link it to the PDF so that when people are in my membership site, they can simply click on the latest thing that I've uploaded for members and they read this new resource. So how I would do that is right here. I could literally add it right in my WordPress site here. Add media. I'm just going to take one that's already existing here. There's a Careless package. And then when it drops the image in, eventually it will do it here. Oh, it took a bunch of them. That's fine. Don't even worry about the specifics here. I can link it to a PDF. So I can say this image, when somebody clicks on this image, link it to a custom URL. And then here is when I would upload a PDF. So it would be careless.pdf. I'm not going to go and actually do that. But you can see, if I preview those changes here, as a member of this particular site, oh, cool, new update this month. What do we got? Oh, it looks like a new product with a workbook about how to care less what people think. Click on that. You can hear my little mouse click, and people open up the guides and they start working through. So that's a really quick example of how you could turn that content into something for a paid membership. Next one down here is the audiobook. So if you remember over here, our premium section has an audiobook that you can brand and sell as your own. So the audiobook to me is of great value because people in the personal development world or people that consume this type of content are often doing it on the road, on the fly, they listen to it. So here are a series of MP3s. It goes 1 through 5. You'd want to distribute it in that order so people go through the content in the correct order. And all it is a narration of the ebook that we've already created. So keep in mind that if you adjust the ebook, right? If you add sections to the ebook, then the audiobook we've included is now out of sync with your content, which is fine. The audiobook could be a summary. If your ebook is twice as long as we've given to you, the audiobook can be a summary, and then you can tell people for a fully expanded lesson on this, read the ebook as well, right? So what we're saying here with our flowchart is that with the audiobook, you can simply sell it as is. You could bundle it with the with the ebook as well. So you can see that's the third one here. Oh no, that's a different one. You can use it for a paid podcast. So if you want to create your own podcast on your website and just say, hey, pay me a few dollars a month or whatever it may be, and we're going to deliver these audios to you once a month, once a week, whatever, you can set that up, and it would be very similar to what you've done here with your membership, right? Pay me a fee per month, and then you can log in here and download the audio files. Whether you call it a paid podcast or a paid audio membership, it's up to you. You can bundle it with other audio to make a motivational mixtape. So this is where having lots of PLR comes in handy. At Tools for Motivation, every one of our full products includes an audiobook. So if you were to buy 5 or 6 of our packages, now you've got an audio library that you can bundle together, or you can have a single audio package and maybe you sell it each one individually for $10, or get, all 6, instead of paying $60, pay $30, right? And it's a way for you to do bulk pricing. Same idea would apply. You could deliver it on a private page like this. You could deliver it using shopping cart software. I won't get into that in this demo, but I'm giving you the ideas here. And we're also saying that you could add this content for a paid membership website. The same idea would apply. What I would say is if you're selling this as a membership and you have both an ebook and audiobook, make them both available because your members will like the flexibility. If you're not selling it as a membership, if you're just selling it as a single item for sale on your website, maybe you sell the ebook for one price and the combo of ebook, audiobook for a separate price. If you buy books on Kindle, you've probably seen with Audible, you can get the audio version in a bundle and it's usually discounted. Same idea would apply here. And then over here, the e-covers. I've talked about those. These e-covers can be used in your marketing. You can expand on them if you like. You can also edit them. So for example, the e-covers that we're including with the ebook come with a PSD and a PNG version. I can open these in Photoshop or in, you could use something like pixlr.com, and you can actually edit what we've given you here, right? You don't have to use this exact branding. If you don't like that picture in the background, drop in a new picture. If you don't like the font or even the title, maybe you're changing the title of this. You can go in and make edits. I'm not going to give you a demo, but I do have a link to another blog post we've created that shows you how to edit images like this. Going back to our flowchart here, let's go over to the lead generation folder now. And to kind of correspond with what this product looks like, the lead generation folder contains a lead generation report, an autoresponder series, which is pre-written emails, and a slide deck. So going through the flowchart, the first thing you can do is give away that report to build goodwill as people join your list. I've already kind of talked about that, but same idea would apply to the ebook. You could open up this lead generation report. Here's a PDF version of it. And you could package this exactly as it is now, but our PDF version is pretty vanilla. It doesn't really have anything other than the plain content. So what I suggest you do is use this lead generation report. What's it called here? It's Stop Worrying. 2 powerful ways to stop worrying what other people think. What I would suggest you do is you open up the Word version and then make some of those other customizations we talked about earlier. Expand on the content. Add some of your own ideas. Add some graphics to it. Maybe add links to your website or other products that you sell, or a course coming up. Who knows what it may be? Maybe it has some affiliate links of things that you want to promote. Take that ebook or that mini report and then load it up on your website as something that gets given away to people when they join your list. Okay. We talked about add more writing or images to make it expand it, print it out as handouts for live seminars. This is a good one. So once you've expanded that content or done whatever it is you want to do to this lead generation report, this can now be something physically that you hand out. It's short, right? What is it? We're looking at about 10 pages here. Staple that together, and when people attend your live events, this could be something that you reference and they read as you go through some of the main content in this. Okay, so that's just another way of thinking about it. PLR content can be used for physical books, physical handouts, things that you laminate, worksheets if you're doing live events, and so on. The autoresponder series. So this is pre-written emails that you can literally just copy and paste. Let me show you what those look like right here. We've included, oops, where did it go? Oh, I moved it by accident. It's right here. You can take the emails that we've written and literally just copy and paste into your autoresponder. And it just goes through, this particular one goes through the general concepts about how to catch yourself worrying about what people think of you, how to transform that, and how to stop doing it and going for more of what you want. These emails walk people through how to start thinking that way. So if you like the content we've pre-written for you, literally just do a copy and paste. What I suggest you do, just like we do with the ebook, customize it. Make it reflect your voice, your advice, your opinions, and then paste that into your autoresponders. But don't forget, these are short little paragraphs here, right? You can take this and make a little tip out of it, or a blog post, or something that you narrate into an audio, right? All of this stuff can be customized as you go through it. That's what we're saying here. Use that as a baseline for an email marketing campaign. It doesn't mean you use it exactly as we've packaged it, but it means you can use it as a baseline and generate ideas. There's also a slide deck in here. So this is part of the lead generation folder. We put it in the lead generation folder because the slides will come in handy for lots of different things. For example, I'm gonna walk you through some of the ones we put in here. Use it as is, just to teach things. You can add your own styling and images to it. You can use it for a live training, or this one right here, use it to create a video. So let me open up the PowerPoint version of this. Now what we've done with this slide deck is we've taken the main lessons or concepts from the ebook, How to Worry Less About What People Think About You, Go for More of What You Want, and we've put it into this nice looking slide deck here. Now, if you familiarize yourself with this content, you could get a screen recorder like I'm doing right now. It could be Camtasia, it could be ScreenFlow. I believe there's another one. There's lots of different ones. Click play and then literally start narrating this from the ebook, or just teach it from the top of your head. If I did it right now, I could literally create my own video to promote my brand and get people to buy my book. Good evening. I want to talk today about why we care so much about what people think of us, why it stops us, and how to move past it. So at some point or another, we've all worried about what someone else is going to think of what we say or what we do. Have you ever caught yourself doing that? I know I used to do it all the time. And one of the reasons I actually stayed in a job I didn't like was I was worried about what my family and friends would think of me if I gave up this high-paying job to go out on my own. Notice I just kind of freestyled that. I used the first intro to this and the first point to get myself talking. I recorded it into a video here. Notice we've left a little spot at the bottom that says your branding goes here. So these slide decks can be used, in my opinion, for great lead generation, because you can create videos like I was showing you right now, publish that to YouTube, and then at the bottom of the YouTube video, put a link back to your website where you have a program for sale, a full training program on how to worry less about what people think. And maybe include some of your own topics as well, goal setting guides and so on. So I talked about there using it to create a video, using it to create a webinar. Basically the same idea. So instead of it being a recorded video, it would be take these slides, invite people to come to your website at a certain time, or go to webinar, whatever the link may be, and you walk them through it on a live demo, and you answer questions, and then at the end of it, you offer something for sale, like a coaching package. If you liked what I talked about today, I've got a special on my coaching, five openings right now. Sign up and we'll get you going on my latest coaching program, whatever it may be. You add your branding, using on SlideShare. So not only can you use a slide deck like this for creating videos, but if you went through and customized it, right? You put in your website right here. There. My fingers aren't working well today. My website link, not like, link, right? You put that there, And then you can actually make it clickable, save it as a PDF. Then you can upload that to slideshare.net or to scribed.com, and it becomes a piece of content that's shareable online that actually turns into a marketing piece for you. People can read and learn from it, but at the bottom of each slide, it has a link to your website. And if they like what they see, they'll head over and maybe buy something from you or join your list and so on. And I talked about that already. You can export it as a PDF or an ebook, even though it's in slide format. It's just a different style. Okay, a bit of a pause there. If you notice a change in audio, my leg fell asleep while I was recording this video. I want to move over to the third section here, branding. To me, I think this is probably the area where you're going to get the most use. I don't want to say value because the ebook and the audiobook are high value as well. But there's a lot of stuff in here that you can work with. So the branding folder, again, if you remember it here, I want to give you the association both from a product perspective and then this flowchart. The branding folder has articles, and this particular product has a few extra pieces like video content. I'm going to focus more on just the articles and the reports and slides. And then I'll make a quick mention of the video here. But let's go to the flowchart, and you can see, okay, we've got 10 articles for you that can be used for so many different things. First thing is you can go over here, grab the articles. We've given them to you in a number of formats. So let's say Word doc. There are 10 here in total, and you can literally just open these, copy and paste them in as blog posts on your website. So I'm not going to do that now. If you're using WordPress, hopefully you know how to do that by now. If not, you need to learn. Okay, literal copy and paste is fine. Again, like anything else with PLR, add your own commentary to it. Add some of your opinions. Chop it down or add to it or just mix it up. Make sure that the content that you're publishing is at least somewhat unique to your brand, your voice, your opinions. Okay, you can use these articles as mailer content as well. This is a great example. I'm actually going to show you my mailing system quickly here. Okay, I've just logged into my autoresponder here. We use a program called Active Campaign. Kind of a side note, we love it, and you might want to check it out. Here's a broadcast I sent during our launch for this particular product you're looking at. So what I often do is we use previous broadcasts as a starting point to create new ones. And you can see I'm promoting this Careless product. So if I wanted to write a new broadcast and I'm actually, let's say I am the user of this Careless content. I want to teach my readers how to stop worrying what other people think, how to embrace their own power, and so on. I would go to this email that I already have and I clear out some of the content here. So I'll just leave the very top and kind of, here's what I normally do is I just kind of empty it out and I've got this shell to start with. Now I talked over here about these articles that I want to, instead of using them as blog posts, I want to use them as content for an email. So let me open it in text version. Here, we've got one here, 5 steps to stop people pleasing. Okay, pretty good one here. So we are going to open that up. I'll make this text a little bit bigger so you can see it on your screen. And then we'll work with it. So 5 steps to stop people pleasing. The intro says, although enjoying helping the next person is a great trait to have, it should not cause you grief or misery. Here are some ways to stop people pleasing. So what I might want to do with my broadcast is I could write a whole broadcast about stop being a people pleaser. Stop people pleasing. And that could be like a little pattern interrupt when I start my mailer. And then I could do my own little intro. Hey, if you're always people pleasing and it's getting in the way of getting your own goals and actions done for the day, you need to read my email today. And then I get into it, right? So then I could take this first step. First of all, you need to learn how to set boundaries. So I might take that full paragraph or that full point and paste it in. So now, I don't necessarily need all of the content from the PLR, but I might want to highlight that first section, and then I'll read through it. People pleasing is when you always go out of your way to satisfy someone at the expense of your own happiness. When you set boundaries, you are helping the person more in the long run. You're being more of a support system rather than doing the work for them. That's enough to illustrate my point. And then for me, when I'm writing emails, I like to kind of highlight certain aspects, so that at the expense of your own happiness, right? And then for me, I wouldn't necessarily need all 6. My email could be, here's 3 quick things you can do to stop people pleasing and take control of your time and life again. And I would just grab the first 3. Learn to say, setting boundaries, learn to say no, and own your opinion. Paste them in, 1, 2, 3, like I did right here. Maybe at the very bottom, I would have a link to, by the way, I've got a full course on how to stop worrying about what people think of you. Click here to check out my special pricing. And then I would have them head over to my website, and there would be an option, let's say, to buy the ebook for $10 or the ebook audio book combo for $15 instead of buying, them individually. They'd save a little bit on the bundle, right? That goes back to what I was talking about earlier with sellable content. But it's so easy to create a broadcast out of an article. You don't always have to think of PLR articles as just something you put in a blog post. So that was here, using as mailer content. Get the articles repurposed on Fiverr. I'm not going to go to fiverr.com because you can do it. Fiverr.com gives you access to tons of talented people for $5. They'll do stuff for you. So you could send somebody an article and say, hey, I need you to rewrite this, condense it, change it up, whatever. That is a service that you could check out. Create posters in Canva with article content. Again, I don't really want to demonstrate this. We actually have a blog post on our website that shows you how to use Canva. So check the resources that are associated with this video, how to do it. But it's really neat what you can do. So for example, going back to this article, there's a lot of text here. So I wouldn't necessarily need all of this text to quickly teach the concept being taught here. I could take one or two sentences out of each point and turn them into a graphic, basically a graphical poster or a single image, and I could condense this, right? So let me go back to my point here about setting boundaries that I put in my email. I don't need all of this text to teach the concept of setting boundaries. I could just say, setting boundaries, people-pleasing is when you always go to a way to satisfy someone else at the expense of your own happiness. People-pleasing can hurt your happiness, right? I've suddenly cut that from like 2 lines down to not even a half of a line there. When you set boundaries, you help the other person. You free up your time. Try it. Okay, I'm not doing a great job with my typing, but I'm in a rush here. Boom, I've now taken that entire section and condensed it down. I can paste that into a graphic now, so a short tips poster instead of an article. Head over to our blog post about using Canva to see exactly how you would do it. Great resource, canva.com. Okay, submit to directories to build backlinks. This is another one. You can find a number of different article directories online. This is an older form of marketing, but I know people that still do this, and it still does generate traffic. So you can look up article directories. Again, if you're going to submit articles that are PLR based, I would recommend you make the changes, publish them to your blog, and then start sharing those articles in other directories as well. You can break them up Seth Godin styles into info bites. I just did that when I was showing you the autoresponder / poster option. So try that out. Use as inspiration or a starting point for your own unique work. Again, this particular topic here, this one article, 5 steps to stop people pleasing, could become an entire report in itself, right? I could use each of those 5 points to illustrate to my audience what I think about people pleasing. So I've condensed this first section, or this first piece, setting boundaries, down into 3 short sentences here. People pleasing can hurt your happiness. When you set boundaries, you are helping the other person, and you free up your time. Try it out. So then I might want to actually record my voice, expanding on that. And then this becomes a video that I then publish to YouTube and can have sitting on my website so that people can associate not only my content, but my name and my face with what I'm teaching. This article then no longer is an article. It becomes the source of a huge teachable piece of content that I publish on my website, and that also does personal branding for me. Same thing with audio, same thing with really anything else. Use it as inspiration for other things that you do. Use it as part of a webinar or podcast. So let's use the webinar idea. If we go back to these Careless slides, maybe I'm using these slides to aid me in sharing valuable information with people who show up to my website for a webinar. Then what I might want to do is, let's say I reach a section in here. I don't know, let's see if I can find one. How to stop worrying what other people think. Okay, why you need to stop caring. It keeps you from your dreams. You may feel unfulfilled. You may never be appreciated, and you're more open to manipulation. I may spend 5 minutes on my webinar or more talking about all of these points, why they're important to overcome, and so on. Then I might have a little thing that pops up and says, check the chat box. I've included a link to a short little PDF where I expand on this. And then I take this article and I save it as a PDF file, maybe with some additional images or links in it that promote some of my stuff. And they just read this particular example of why people pleasing or stopping the negative habit of people pleasing will help them kind of take their life back and not worry so much about what people are thinking. So these articles can be used as resources to expand not only webinars, but anything you're doing when you're engaging with your audience. And then this is one of my favorite things to do with articles. Combine the articles from multiple products to create larger reports. So if you own PLR from multiple vendors, or maybe you've bought a number of our packages, you could be sitting on 10, 20, 100 articles that look like these here, right? So you go through your hard drive and you think to yourself, man, I've bought a lot of PLR in 2017 or whatever year we're talking about here. And I'm going to put them all into one giant folder. I'm going to look at the titles and see how they're all related. And I'm going to grab pieces of content from each article to piece together a totally new report that gives people advice on what I want to share with them. So I could take one article about people pleasing, another article about how to build your self-esteem. I might have another product that's totally unrelated to this, but that kind of is a nice segue into a bigger topic, let's say, of self-esteem. And each one of those articles becomes a section, a chapter, whatever, in a larger report or ebook. So don't always box yourself into thinking that articles have to be used as blog posts, because they can be used as a lot more. Now, I'm not going to walk through this second section quite as much because these reports that are in our products right here, I'm going to show it to you, but then I'm going to just kind of reference what I've already taught you. The reports right here are literally just a collection of the articles done in a different way. So we've taken the first 5 articles and we've put them more into a report style format. I'm going to open it up just so you can see it here. So we've got a report format, and it's broken into 5 sections. So we've got a table of contents here, 5 things. And then it's literally just article 1, article 2, 3, 4, and 5. But now, instead of it being an article that you publish on a blog, it's in a report that you can save as a PDF and give it away as lead generation, or do all the things that we talked about earlier over here on the left side with your ebook, okay? So it's just another way of packaging the articles, but into reports. Everything I talked about earlier still applies. Sell it, give it away, turn it into a video, and so on. Slide decks. So we've also taken the articles and repurposed them into slide versions. So we've kind of condensed the topics in each article into slides. And again, the same thing apply that I talked about earlier with this Careless deck. We can use it as webinars. What I would do with an article slide is probably more likely record my voice narrating the slides, or just kind of talking through what's on each slide as I play the slideshow, and then publish that to YouTube. That's my favorite way of repurposing a slide into video. You take an article, you move it into a slide, you record your voice, and now you have a video that's branded to you, your voice, and your personal brand. And then there's a checklist here as well. Now the checklist is cool because it's a short little bite-sized piece of content that can be of high value to your audience. Because think about it. When you're online, you go on, maybe you're reading some blogs for the day and you're trying to get some inspiration. You don't necessarily want to read a 5,000 word blog post unless you have the time. So you've got this checklist here. I'm going to open it up in PDF. And it's literally just taking out the main points from that Careless, Stop Worrying What People Think of You ebook. And instead of a full chapter, it's literally got 1 check mark per major point. So why do we care so much? At some point or another, we've all worried about what someone else is thinking about us. We don't want to make a mistake that gets us in trouble. We'd rather take flight than fight by saying how we act and how we feel. Some checkpoints to say, hey, do you care too much about what people are thinking? Do you notice yourself doing some of these things? Why we need to stop caring. Okay, so these are some of the negative implications of worrying so much. And then how do you get over it? Well, stop doing these things, and then take some other advice here. Change your focus, have compassion for others. So when you look at this particular checklist, there's a lot of value here. Instead of having to read a giant ebook, I can, in 5 minutes, get some quick tips and advice about how to do this. And then you could use a checklist like this to really draw people in. They start realizing, hey, I do worry too much, and some of these tips are really cool. What else can this guy or girl teach me about how to stop worrying so much? So this particular PDF can be customized to include links back to your website, or to your videos, or to programs that you sell, a specific sales page or an opt-in page. Maybe you don't want to sell anything at all. You just want to get them to join your list. You hand this checklist out, you publish it, let's say, on a document sharing website. They click a link in here that takes them to a landing page on your website that says, put your name and email in here today. And if you want to learn more about how to stop worrying about what people think, I will send you, just for your name and email for free, a guide on how to do that. And then you would give away that ebook that we talked about earlier. So going over to the flowchart again, if I can find it, it's right here. You can take that checklist and use it as blog content and link them to your website. Use it as a physical handout. You can brand and share it on social media. This is a good one. So let's say, for example, you create an image with all those points in your checklist. You can upload that image to Pinterest, and then in the resource section, have a link to your website where you're giving away that advice in more detail, your ebook or audio version of it to build your list. You can take the exact same checklist that I showed you, where is it here? And go over to canva.com, again, I mentioned that earlier, and turn that checklist into a graphic. Where are we at here? You can create a how-to blog post with the content. You can use single bullet points as tip images. So going over here again, right here, literally open this up in Word, copy this tip, and then paste it onto a slide like so. And then instead of having Careless here, I would maybe have this background image, but I would have that tip. Let me actually do it for you really quick. So we'll copy that text. It doesn't often work well, but we could try it here. Let me just delete these guys. It's not working. Here, paste that in. I usually don't use PowerPoint, so you can see my lack of skill here. Right? So ignore these things here. No, let me just do it. I'm stubborn. There. Okay, we've got this tip now sitting on a graphical slide, right? So you have the ability to customize this checklist into something totally unique that no one else is maybe doing, right? That's the value of PLR. Going back over here, use send to your mailing list as a mailer. So again, if you go back over to my broadcast that I'm sending here, if I wanted to do a different type of broadcast, today I don't have a story to tell you or a giant piece of advice, but I'd like you to read through these series of tips that will help you overcome what other people are worrying about. And I literally can take this entire checklist right here, copy and paste it into my mailer, and that's a high value piece of content that people can read directly in their inbox. But again, it's something that you're using to stay in front of them, to stay in touch. Of course, obviously, in the email, you'd want to link them to something for sale whenever possible, or even a free piece of content to keep them engaged. But for me, sending daily emails is something that we like to do, but sometimes you run out of inspiration for content. PLR can be a great source of doing that. Going back over to the flow chart here, the last piece is the social section. So if I show you my product again here, the social folder has 4 pieces: tips posters, an infographic, pre-written tweets, and Facebook posts. So if I go to the flowchart, we're saying you can literally use these posters as is. Let me show you one of them here on my screen and just pull it up. Be true to yourself first. And it's a tip called How to Stop Caring What Others Think. So I can take this graphic and literally just upload it to a social website, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. What's probably better is to add my branding to that poster. So if I open this up again, if I were to take this top section here and drop toolsformotivation.com at the very top so people could see it, that would be a great start. Now, how would I do that? You could use something called Pixlr. You can use Photoshop. There's even ways to do it with PowerPoint. I don't want to specifically show you that now because we do have other demos that I'll link you to that will walk you through that process. But when you go through our products, look at all these posters. We've created 20 different graphics here that you could be using immediately, 20 different pieces of content to start driving clicks back to your website. You don't want to miss out on doing that if you can. Next one down is, I've already talked about the editing. So add your branding in a convenient spot, use Photoshop, share on social media. I talked about all that. Here's a good one. Add to an ebook to make it more visually appealing. So if I go back to that report that I talked about earlier here, where we took a bunch of articles and kind of strung them together to make a report instead of an article, let's go to another one here. I want to find one. Okay, 6 signs you worry too much about what others think of you. And then one of them is you want everyone to like you. Where'd it go here? I lost my section there. You want everyone to like you. Now, I can take one of these posters that I talked about. Let's just grab that one. Be true to yourself. And I'm going to take this poster and literally just drop it into my Word doc here. Now, I probably want to make it a bit smaller so it doesn't mess up the entire formatting. Keep going, even smaller. There, okay? And I might want to center it as well. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that right now because I want this demo to keep going. But there you have it, right? You've got a report that's got text. You want everyone to like you, and then you enhance your little point with a graphic that kind of enhances or extends on that idea. It draws their eyes down the page. It gets them thinking more about the concepts you're teaching, but it also makes it just gives more variety, a visual appeal to the content you're creating. So sometimes just a text-based ebook isn't enough. This will make it stand out and look a little bit nicer. And obviously there's ways in Word and Pages, whatever word processor you're using, to make this text wrap around and would go to the right of this poster as well. I won't go into that right now. So we talked about that here. You can bundle all these graphics together into a single PDF. So if you wanted to, let's say, for example, use something like PowerPoint, I'm just going to I'm going to append on to the end of this slideshow to save time here. But here's a blank slide. And delete that. And delete that. And then I'm going to take some of these images. Let's take a different one here just for variety. And we'll paste it into our slide deck. I could have a couple side by side. Let me just adjust this here. You can have one tip there and then another tip to the side of it just for fun. Grab another one, paste it there, readjust it. And I can have this little collage or image booklet with different tips. And in PowerPoint, you can save as a PDF, right? One of the options here when you do a save as, you can export it as a, where is it? PDF. And then that PDF can brand your business, right? You can add links at the bottom of this slide right here where it would be clickable and they go over to your landing page, they go over to your sales page and so on. It's just a nice, unique piece of content that's image and graphics based instead of text based to give you more variety in your business. Where were we here? Share on social media, into a single PDF. Oh, you can use in blog posts. So let's say you wanted to use PLR in a traditional fashion, where you take one of the articles from our branding folder right here, and you just, where'd it go? And you just copy and paste the text from that article into a blog post. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just show up our blog right here on Tools for Motivation. I will open up one of our blog posts. And let's say, for example, it's just, imagine this video wasn't here and it was just a blog post purely based on text where I'm giving advice. And the advice would be this one here, 6 signs you worry too much what other people think of you. So I copy all that text, I paste it into my blog. So they're reading through about the 6 tips. but there's nothing else really there to capture their eye. At the very top, or even in the middle of this blog post, I could take one of those posters that I talked about earlier and upload it into that blog post, and then have the text wrap around it just to enhance the look and feel of it. I like doing this, and in fact, I'd maybe even take it a step further, where I'd have the article with an image, and at the very bottom, I would take a video that I created from that article and embed it on the website as well. So they're learning the advice from me by reading it. They're seeing a visual of a tip that's related to that piece of advice. And at the very bottom, they're watching a video where I explain it even further using my own voice and my excitement for the topic. So you can see how quickly you can branch this stuff out. You can extract the tips and quotes from your posters to create your own tips in Canva. I talked about that earlier. And you can do the same to create an infographic. Now, that brings us to the topic of infographic here, which is the second piece of content included in our social folder. So here's what this particular infographic looks like for this product. It's 7 tips to help you care less about the opinions of others, and it kind of just goes through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What can you do with that infographic? It's going to be very similar to what you do with the posters. So you can use it as is. What I would suggest you do is, let me actually open it in full so you can see it here and make it big. So this is what the infographic looks like. It's got the 7 tips. Now, what I would suggest you do is at the bottom, it says brought to you by, and then right here in this section, you would use a tool like Pixlr or Photoshop to edit this, and then put your branding in there and make it clickable whenever possible, or make the social media page that you're uploading to it have a link to your website. But at least here you would put your branding so people know the company that created this. So I would put toolsformotivation.com, and then people would read these tips and go, hey, what's toolsformotivation.com? I'm going to head over there and check it out. That's the easiest way to use an infographic, and then you would simply upload it to a website like Pinterest, or I really like Instagram, so I would do it there as well. So you might want to try something like that. You can, where are we going here? You can use Photoshop to edit them, share it on social media, use it in a blog post. If you don't want to write a blog post today, you could literally just drag and drop an infographic, and that could be your blog post for this particular day, and just name the blog post after the content contained within that infographic. And you may want to type some of the text out in below that infographic, just so there's some text-based content for the search engines. Brand and share the infographic on infographic sharing websites. Pretty basic there. Just look for other places that you can share graphics. Create a video using infographic as a baseline. So one thing you could do is literally what I'm doing right now. I'm recording my voice while I look at my screen, and I'm going to save it as a video later that I upload to YouTube. There's nothing stopping me from also going through this infographic, maybe zooming in a bit, and really, well, zooming in too much might distort the quality of it. But I could click record right now and start narrating a video to you that's just a little bit different than what you normally see. So let's pretend I hit record now. Hi, right now I'd like to tell you 7 tips about how to stop caring so much about the opinions of others. And these 7 tips are something you can implement today and beyond for a more powerful life. 1, be true to yourself. So whether you are making decisions, setting goals, or just living your life, remember to be true to yourself first. You need to know your values and be true to them. If you've, and then I would just kind of go on and on. I don't want to pretend like I know how to do this right now, but you get the idea. In 5, 10, 15 minutes, I could have a video where people hear my voice, they see a nice, cool graphic on the screen, and they're probably going to be interested to hear more from me. So if I upload that to YouTube, I drop a link below that YouTube video, get them to go back to my website. Next one down, tweets and Facebook posts. So these 2 sections here, we've basically taken just little snippets of ideas or concepts from this particular Stop Worrying What People Think product, and we've put them into tweets. So choose to be proactive, assertive, and self-defining. It's a quote from a guy named Bryant McGill. So the traditional way we suggest you use these is to use a product, you can see it in this box right here, called Hootsuite. It lets you upload CSV files, and then it connects to your social media account, and it says, okay, take these 30 tweets and tweet them out once a day for the next 30 days, or once an hour for the next 30 hours, and have it published to my Twitter account. Same thing would apply to your Facebook account. and it's done as is. What you might want to do is go into what we've provided here and enhance the tweets. Maybe add a link to your website or a hashtag on a particular topic that you're talking about. I would definitely drop links in some of my tweets and Facebook posts whenever possible, because I do want to use my social posts as ways to drive traffic to my website. So you might want to customize these before you upload them to Hootsuite. But these are also just pieces of content that you can work with, right? You can copy and paste those tips into your social media, but you can also copy and paste them into blog posts, into emails, articles, reports, and so on. So I always look at the content here. Facebook posts are a great example. Here's little, let me make it bigger again. Here's little tips that I can start using as baselines for my content. Do you want to tap into the power of not caring? If so, what better way to start with a book by that very title? And then it links to the power of not caring, and it's an Amazon link. So you would obviously create your own Amazon link there. But then I could put that into a blog post, or I could put that into a resource section at the end of one of my reports. So if I showed you, remember I showed you earlier this report right here, where we took a series of articles from our PLR package, we strung them together to make a 5-part report. Well, at the very end of this report, I could create a resources section. I can say, additional reading. And then I would go on to say, if you want to learn more about this, here are some of my favorite books and courses and products online that will help you go much further with this concept and implement it in your life. Then I would take the Facebook post from this piece of content here and literally just paste it in there, obviously with my affiliate link and not the one included in the PLR. So make sure you change that. But other than that, we've got content here we can use for marketing. So these are designed, again, to copy and paste into Facebook, but don't limit yourself to thinking that's the only place I can use it, because it can be used in a variety of different ways. Whew, okay, I'm out of breath, and I've gone through, at a high level anyways, how to use our PLR products in a variety of different formats. Look at this flowchart in the image that we've included here on this post, or wherever you may be looking. Go through this video again if you need to, and then look at the associated links where in some of these concepts I have blog posts and trainings where I branch it out. This is meant to be an intro for people that haven't used PLR or are just kind of thinking, man, what do I do with all of this stuff on my hard drive now? Well, hopefully this video has at least got you thinking. So I hope you like it. This has been Justin Popovich from Tools for Motivation. Let me know if I can be of any assistance.